In 1992, an Iranian student, Habib, committed suicide outside a small Ontario town. Later, I visited the site where he hanged himself under this tree. He was so determined to kill himself. When the rope broke on his first attempt, he was given a second chance at life. He never took it. Like me, Habib was an ex-political prisoner from Iran. Trying to understand his act of desperation drove me to make this film. Why, after so many years of struggle and escape to Canada, did he kill himself? Wondering what images and memories Habib had carried in his head, I turned to my animation. Where they lacked the ones in my picture diary, images of political madness, escape, and isolation. Images can provide a common language that brings people together from all over the world. If it were not for the conspiracy of silence shared by so many of us. Demonstrations, acts of rebellion, art, and even suicide are the different ways we tell our story. I never learned Habib's story, but there are many like him. How does one survive imprisonment, escape, and exile? I needed to know how others would tell their stories.
Start from here. Let's put the first one up here. I was nobody because I didn't have any history here. I had a name, and based on the name, I had to start to build a present identity to work towards the future. But my past, it was something totally irrelevant to this society. I came to Canada. That was the best thing that I could pursue my questions, and following my questions, go and get some educating myself. Study sociology, economics, philosophy, history. You need to know about what's happening in the world.
It was so cold. I actually called my mom from the bank, and I said, if you're not doing anything, can you pick me up and then drop me off?
When I was arrested in Iran, I was 18 years old. That was in 1982. My son was 1 year old. It was 4 days after his birthday. The government started to arrest all of the opposition. I was one of them. And they told my parents that we're just going to take her for a few questions. She's going to be out by tomorrow. I came out 8 years later.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know when my son
It's black.
can hug his father, and my daughter and me can hug each other. We are a family, but we are separate. I don't know why.
Which color do you want to?
This.
Just red?
The immigration tell me you have to wait and wait. And we are waiting for 4 years to live with each other.
I was 19 years old. I was in the jail for 5 years with thousands of people that they lost their life because of their beliefs. I had a long way to come to Canada. The first impression was the cold. I felt I flew to the North Pole, actually.
C'est bon, c'est chaud! Venez au bon marché!
Wherever I go, basically I update different people and different communities on what is happening to Iranian people in prisons, to women and children, and in terms of the civil liberties of the population of Iran, which is being continuously and systematically abused by Islamic regime of Iran. I had been active in left organizations in Iran long time ago, during the Shah. At that time, I was captured at a high school and sent to prison for a year because I supported the nationalization of oil against British Petroleum. In fact, I was part of the student opposition at that time. In 1953, the elected government of Dr. Mossadegh was overthrown by CIA conspiracy and the British intelligence. Both actually got together and used military force to overthrow his government and re-establish the dictatorial form of regime by the Shah.
He was in the power for 27 years. We were in the revolution against Shah. We wanted to change. We wanted to have a democracy in our country, in speech, in every aspect, you know.
The revolution in Iran happened during the 1979, and it overthrew the Shah government in the winter of 1979.
It was a small period of time of liberty, the freedom. We had lots of demonstration, I do remember. They were asking questions because they wanted to change.
Hier, on a fait une manifestation. On avait à peu près 10 ou 15 000 femmes, mais ils n'ont rien dit à la télé. On a fait des manifestations pour dire que le gouvernement libre n'a pas le droit de dire il faut ou il ne faut pas. C'est nous qui choisirons. Et c'est nous, les femmes, qui choisirons.
I was arrested for numerous times. I was beaten yet let free. The rule of the Islamist force was not yet total.
The direction of the revolution changed, and these ideas of freedom and democracy were betrayed. And unfortunately, we ended up with another dictator, Ayatollah Khomeini.
The government used mainly intimidation tactics to intimidate the opposition groups into a state of calm or a state of obedience.
ما نمیتونیم با اون حجاب و با اون چیزهایی که اونا میگن بتونیم اونقدر که دلمون میخواد و میتونیم به مریضای خودمون کمک بکنیم.
During this time, civil and human liberty was attacked. Civil and human rights were under constant pressure. There was an escalating trend towards more and more violence, to the point that in 1981 there was a drastic change.
I was captured by Hezbollah around the end of 1981, and I spent almost 8 years in many different prisons of Islamic regime in Tehran.
It was evident for us that this is calling for our blood. This is calling for our life. This is calling for our self-sacrifice.